My name's Laddie, and I am with the Connect Bowness team. And today we are here with Scott, and he's going to talk about some of the parks around Bowness. Hi, Scott.
Hi, Laddie. How are you?
Good, good. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Sure thing. Yeah. So I'm actually employed with City Calgary Parks. I'm a gardener foreman. I work a lot out of Bowness Park in the winter and other parts of the city. But I'm really just coming to you today as a resident of Bowness. Definitely not an official spokesman for the city. Yeah, that's it. And I have an interest in the community and some of the opportunities we have within parks to improve things and make things more interesting, frankly.
Definitely. Can you tell us a little bit about any particular project that's been your favorite working in Bowness specifically?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, we've done a couple of things recently that have been a lot of fun. We started back in my first winter that I worked in Bowness Park, just for fun. Very simply, we set up something I call creek curling, which was just an approximation of curling on the frozen river. That's near the boat launch there. And that was a very rustic game. We just did it using split logs, and we just used stencils in the ice. But that was pretty successful. There was a lot of sort of visual appeal, and people played it until it broke. And that just gave us an idea that we could do something more next year. So every year we sort of continually improved that little game right up until 2019 when we had actual composite curling rocks. And it's just an approximation of curling, but certainly you could play it, you could have a good game, kids loved it. And just on the basis of that sort of and how successful that was, we put forward croquis curl, which I don't know, have you ever heard what croquis curl is?
Yeah, I sort of understand it. If you want to tell us a little more.
Croquis curl to me is just a fascinating invention. Just about 3-4 years ago, a group out of Winnipeg created this combination of crokinole, the board game, if you're familiar with that. It's, pretty tried and true and classic game. And they matched it up with curling and turned it into this great outsize ice game. And after we'd seen the success we had with creek curling, we knew that we could do this. It would cost a little more, and we wanted to do it right. But that's been operational the last 2 seasons. And it's so popular that last year I actually literally could not throw a rock because someone was there every day, all the time.
That's good news.
That just showed us again that those sort of initiatives are really welcome and really huge. So.
Definitely. People want to be able to spend time outdoors and try new things, and that sort of game seems very approachable, I think.
Yeah, that's it. It's a level playing. Everybody steps up at the same level, which is another component I really like, when it's not so much competition or skill level, but just simply, everything's provided. You come to the park and it's there for you. You bring nothing, you can just play. And I think that's where the success of these kind of ventures really, really lies, is that you bring nothing, you show up, so.
Yeah, exactly. Along those same lines, why do you think it's important to have these outdoor spaces and things that everybody can come and do?
So, I hate to say it, but I think COVID really, really emphasizes how important this is. Like I was gratified to see just how parks sort of became a frontline concern in a way, with nowhere else to go. This was almost the only place people could go, and you just saw that evidenced everywhere over the last few months, that parks are just so vital for people to get out. And when you can't congregate the way you normally do at movies or whatever, these green spaces are, they're expansive, they're huge. It was really nice to see us sort of frontline. There's services that we all need to have, roads and healthcare and all that, but to see parks suddenly presented in a new light with that kind of importance, I really like that.
Yeah, I definitely see that. The parks are busier than ever, and
Sure.
allows people to spread out and be entertained in a way that they may not have thought of before, which is excellent. Okay, so these things are so important. So what can we do to maybe help preserve them or help protect them and make sure they're around for a long time for us to enjoy?
Yes, I think the most important thing, and maybe even in a community like Bowness more so, is that you sort of try to activate these spaces and don't just let them lie kind of fallow. Like there's a couple of really good examples of how certain installations have really improved a park's environment. And I don't suggest temp or permanent installations for all parks, because there's nothing better than just an open field of turf. You know, that's like a blank canvas, I think, for people to play soccer, do whatever. So you have to choose these sites really wisely, so you're not taking away a space that's, you know, fully functional on its own. But I think about the skate park at Queen Elizabeth. You're familiar with that?
Definitely. Busier.
Queen Elizabeth, yeah, Queen Elizabeth Park was just a park that was a little bit derelict, in my opinion. And now suddenly with the skate park there, you know, you've just got that critical mass of people who are on site, and that creates a sort of a safety zone as well for maybe a park that previously didn't feel safe. And you know, you've got that activity going almost virtually all the time through daylight hours. And you know, that's a great example of it turning the park around. Another at Baker Park, the disc golf course there, if you're familiar with that. That Baker Park was always a beautiful park, but mostly just passive recreation and long walks. And I think about a decade ago, maybe even a place where some unwanted sort of activity was happening. And with the disc golf being put in there, it just completely changed the nature of that park 100%. Now you have, you know, again, lots of activity, almost too much. It's almost a victim of its own success. It's so popular. But you just have a different feel in that park by virtue of that activity, that installation. I think just a huge success as well.
Yeah, definitely. And how do you think that these spaces like Baker Park or the skate park and the space itself can help bring people together?
Again, it's just like, it's funny. We put in a horseshoe pit recently in Baker Park. This is the most recent thing we did with the help Parks greenlit that. And you know, that particular installation is still, because of COVID, things have slowed. It's not complete yet, but the pits are there. You can play horseshoes. They're not provided yet. We're working on stuff like that. But I just get a kick out of every time I go there to look at a site or maintain it or anything. Because something has been placed there, there's now a visual attraction. Anytime I go there, that space, which was previously not used very much, there's people there all the time. And we have put up some temporary benches and picnic tables. Those are always in a different configuration. They've been moved around. They're being used just sort of inventively by people. And, you know, it's things like that that are, again, really gratifying to see, is that people find their own way to use a space, even if you've got you know, something like a horseshoe pit that's very, you know, specific. People are drawn to it, like, what's this? And then they find their own way to enjoy that space, even if it's not throwing horseshoes. So those are the kind of things I think about when we're thinking about other projects going forward, is how do you sort of impact the space and build something, but leave people the room to enjoy it the way they want to enjoy it. And that's the creek curling, croquet curl, all those things. People play it their own way all the time. You can always play it the proper way, but what I like to see is people just freestyling, basically.
Yeah. And that can range from really big projects like the skate park to something a much smaller scale, like horseshoes. Even small investments like that can make a big difference.
For sure.
Definitely. Okay, I have one last question for you. Not so much about parks, but what is something about Bowness that you are particularly thankful for right now?
As I was thinking about that, and I kind of have to stay on point, because for me, it's always been the landscape of Bowness. I'm somebody who, you know, is fairly introverted. So I mean, I'm not a big talker. I don't really believe that people change community to community. With no disrespect, I don't think Bownesians are that different from anybody else, but we enjoy a really unique landscape and topography, and being by the river. Our two parks are the best in the city, in my opinion, Baker and Bowness. So those are the things that I was grateful for, that motivated me to move here and bring my family here. And it's part of my working life now. And it's still, I think, the defining feature of our neighborhood, for sure. Just our layout, our location. Yeah, and certainly I'm grateful for that all the time.
Yeah, I definitely am as well. This is a wonderful place to be, and you can see by where you are right now, it's a beautiful day outside. So
Beautiful day, absolutely.
great day to get out there. Well, thank you so much, Scott, for talking to me today, talking about the parks of Bowness. We're spending July talking about natural environment and why it's
Right.
important to Bownesians. So be sure to check out our other videos about natural environment. You can follow Bowness at MyBowness on Facebook and Instagram, and our website, www.mybowness.com. Thanks again, Scott.
Thanks a lot, Laddie.